Welcome your new home, assistant and companion. As a side note, that happened fast. The NEO Home Robot is a humanoid designed by 1X Technologies specifically for everyday domestic chores. It's marketed as a safe, voice-aware assistant that can take a list of tasks, schedule them, and work through them on its own, with an option for human guidance when needed. Think of it as a household helper that can tidy, organize, fold laundry, put away dishes, take out the trash, and interact conversationally as it goes. It is slated to roll out early 2026. A caveat: NEO isn't intended for outdoor use and isn't waterproof. Cooking is limited today, and while hands are reported as waterproof, the body is not. Also, reviewers and reporters note that early demos sometimes relied heavily on teleoperation, so true and complete autonomy is still maturing. When you schedule it, a 1X expert can remote in and see through NEO's cameras while guiding a task. 1X says operators cannot take control without your consent, and you can define no-go zones in the app. Visual cues on NEO indicate when an operator is active. The CEO has stated that data from in-home sessions helps make the product better, essentially asking early adopters to opt into teaching the system. Early reports say the company supports blurring people and enforcing operator limits. Still, privacy is a meaningful consideration. Under the hood, NEO combines a built-in language model for conversation with a dedicated vision language system called Redwood AI that's trained on real-world home data. Redwood is the piece meant to help NEO perceive rooms, understand objects, and carry out multi-step chores with more autonomy than classic scripted robots. In practice, that means navigating a kitchen, recognizing dishes, and deciding how to put things back where they belong, within the boundaries the owner sets. What can you ask it to do? The company highlights everyday routines: fold clothes, organize shelves, tidy living spaces, clean bathrooms, and handle ad hoc requests by voice or app. You can predefine chore lists, schedule them for certain times, and come home to a house that's been worked through systematically. It will also respond in real time if you're present and want to redirect it. NEO is presented as an autonomy-first device, but with a crucial safety valve called Expert Mode. If there's a chore it doesn't yet know how to do, you can schedule a 1X expert to guide the robot through the task. This human-in-the-loop session helps get the job done immediately, and also teaches the system for the next time. In other words, the autonomy is designed to improve from real household work, while a remote human can step in on tougher edge cases. Let's talk physical characteristics that matter in a home. NEO is about 5 feet 6 inches tall and 66 pounds. That relatively low mass is intentional for home safety. NEO can carry up to roughly 55 pounds and reportedly lift up to around 154 pounds. NEO is quiet with a working sound level of roughly 22 decibels. Oh, and NEO lasts about 4 hours on a charge and is self-charging. NEO can walk to a standard wall outlet and plug itself in when the battery is low, an oft-cited, futuristic but real quality-of-life feature. The design also leans into household practicality. A soft outer suit and shoes made of machine-washable nylon, so you can clean the robot's contact surfaces after a messy job. This sounds minor, but it's the difference between a lab prototype and something you can actually live with week after week. On the intelligence side, 1X positions NEO as a conversational helper as much as a chore robot. That means you can ask questions, get quick knowledge, and combine talk with action. Where did we put the olive oil? Please tidy the living room. Start a load of laundry. What's the next task on today's list? The idea is that its built-in language model handles the talk, while Redwood AI and the control stack handle perception, planning, and manipulation. Now, an honest status check on autonomy. Independent hands-on reporting has emphasized that today, many complex tasks still rely on remote human teleoperation, often a trained operator wearing a VR headset who can step in to guide arms and hands through tricky moments. The company acknowledges this and has publicly framed early units as benefiting from that guidance, so the robot's skills improve in real-world homes. This human involvement raises privacy and trust questions, and buyers should understand that Expert Mode essentially schedules those help sessions when needed. It's part of the product's current reality and roadmap toward greater independence over time. What does that mean for day-to-day living? Expect NEO to handle repeatable, well-learned tasks increasingly well, especially in a familiar home it has seen before, and expect the occasional request for a guided assist when it encounters something novel, a fiddly cabinet latch, a unique appliance, or an object it hasn't learned to grasp confidently. The promise is that each guided session becomes training data that reduces how often help is needed later. Let's cover pricing and availability. Public launch materials and mainstream coverage put NEO at $20,000 for early adopters, with an alternative subscription plan around $499 per month with a minimum commitment. Pre-orders are open now, with first deliveries targeted for 2026 in the United States and broader rollout thereafter. If you're budgeting, think in terms of a premium appliance that's closer to a vehicle or high-end home system than a conventional gadget. How would a household actually use it? A realistic day might look like this. In the morning, NEO checks the chore list you've scheduled, tidy the living room, put last night's dishes away, and start a laundry cycle. It navigates to the kitchen, identifies the plates and cups, and returns them to your usual shelves. It moves to the living room, gathers items into their bins, straightens pillows, and wipes a side table if that's part of your preset routine. If it meets an unfamiliar item, it can ask for clarification or request an expert session later. In the afternoon, it might carry recycling to the bin and bring a package from the porch to the hallway. When you speak to it, it answers naturally, and you can insert new chores as you think of them. That's the intended rhythm: scheduled autonomy, on-the-fly instruction, and occasional guided learning. How does it compare to other home robots you might know? Robot vacuums automate a single task. NEO's ambition is broader manipulation of household objects, opening doors, picking up clutter, loading and unloading, and interacting across many rooms. That leap from locomotion plus suction to perception plus dexterous manipulation is why the platform uses a humanoid form with arms and hands, and why human teleoperation is still part of the story while the autonomy matures. If you're thinking about the safety model, NEO's approach mixes onboard safeguards with operational policy. The soft exterior reduces hard contact risks. The system is designed to be quiet and home-friendly, and expert mode gives you a transparent path to escalate a task when autonomy isn't fully confident. Owners should still set household rules, rooms, hours, and objects that are off-limits, and treat the robot as a powerful appliance that deserves the same supervision you'd give a new housekeeper on day one. What about the long-term vision? The company's own narrative is that autonomy will increase as Redwood AI learns from more homes, more layouts, and more edge cases, driving down the frequency of teleoperation. Meanwhile, the human-in-the-loop model is intentionally baked in, both as a service to guarantee chores get done and as a learning pathway to accelerate skill acquisition. It's a two-track plan: deliver value now with help when needed, and move steadily toward hands-off operation for common chores. For buyers and families, the human element remains central. People set the goals and the boundaries. People decide which rooms and tasks are appropriate. People approve or deny expert mode sessions, and people ultimately judge whether the results match their standards. That's the partnership being offered today. A robot that can carry part of the household load, a remote expert who can step in when needed, and a homeowner who manages the relationship and defines success. If you're evaluating whether to order, here's the practical takeaway. NEO is not a science fiction butler that knows everything on day one. It is a high-end, evolving household system that can automate many routine tasks now, will ask for human guidance on unfamiliar tasks, and is designed to get better the more it sees your home. The value proposition is time back, less repetitive work, and a path to broader autonomy as software improves. The trade-offs are price, trust in remote assistance during expert mode, and the patience to live with a system that learns. Pricing once more, because it matters. Plan for around $20,000 to buy, or roughly $499 per month on subscription with a commitment, with US deliveries aimed for 2026 and international expansion to follow. As always with pre-orders, timelines can shift, but this is the current, widely reported picture. That's the NEO Home Robot, a humanoid chore assistant with voice interaction, and a real plan for getting better over time. An explicit, human-in-the-loop safety net for the hard stuff, and a price that places it in the early adopter, premium appliance category. If you want the cutting edge of domestic automation, this is what it looks like right now. Please like, subscribe, and share.